Good afternoon. This is Chief Adrian Davis of the Kaplan Fire Department. Mr. Mayor, City Manager, City Council, citizens of Kaplan, distinguished guests, and all attendees, I thank you for taking the time to hear me as I brief you on matters that are very important to this community. As you all may know, the Kaplan Fire Department is part of the community, and that is our main goal. And in that, we want to protect and serve the community the best that we can. That doesn't just mean protecting you from fires and hazards and coming to your home on EMS calls, but it also means being part of the community and reaching out and also knowing what's good for the community. Now, we all recently have understood and talked about, and there's been hearings, and it's already finalized that we are going to be getting this large project that is going to put a lot of jobs into this community. I'm speaking, of course, of the petrochemical plant that is going to be coming into the city of Kaplan. The mayor and the director of emergency management came to me and let me know that this was going to be happening and asked that my department be ready to serve the community. In order to do that, I prepared a report, and you all have a copy of that report, and it breaks down into detail what the hazards are, how we're going to protect the community, what the budget impacts are, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, nor am I going to insult you by reading word by word off of a PowerPoint or by reading line by line from my report. I suspect that we are all adults here and we can all read reports. Again, we appreciate the importance of this plant to the community, and my job is to make sure that this is a safe endeavor and a successful endeavor. So I'm going to let you know how we handled it. We took this very seriously. I put together a working group that included some of my best officers, some of the best people that understand hazardous materials. We had our public information officer get in touch with and liaison with the chemical plant themselves, and we had some meaningful and purposeful discussions. So we're going to go over one, what this means for the community, two, what the hazards are, and three, how we protect you from those hazards. First of all, the plant will be producing large amounts of petrochemicals, and the hazards of those have historically been minimal. There have been very few accidents throughout the United States. However, what we have found in our research is that when those accidents take place, they are quite large. When we talk about the hazards, we talk about different categories. The chemical category means that there's going to be a potential for dusts and mists, gases, vapors, and fumes, and possibly smoke from these chemicals. Now, most of these dangers and hazards are going to be more for the employees that are working. These type of chemicals normally aren't released into the atmosphere in large quantities unless there's a severe accident like an explosion. The physical dangers, of course, are going to be noise, vibration, light, heat, cold. In some cases, there's a potential for radiation. However, in this plant, there is no potential for radiation, and the people of the company wanted to let you know that, and we wanted to let you know that we investigated that thoroughly, that radiation is not a hazard at all. One of the biggest hazards that we have to worry about is the flammability, the potential for fire, the potential for explosion, the potential for those fires to spread throughout the community, and how we're going to deal with that. One of our experts in hydrocarbon suppression basically put together his part of the report, and what we will do is obviously prepare for it not to happen. The company has many safeguards in place, but the fire department, of course, has to be ready for worst case scenario. In that, we have identified that there is a type 2 foam. I'm not going to get into the technical part of it with you, but there's a foam that is actually deployable by the apparatus that we have now, including our engines and our pumpers and our hoses. We will have to make some purchases of a adapter, and that adapter is a very low cost, and it's highly effective, and it will work with our existing equipment. We are going to have to purchase a large amount of this foam because one study from Chemtrek, which is a important agency that oversees chemical transportation safety, says that a incident of a large scale with this type of plant would take about 200 gallons of the Class B foam. So we are planning on purchasing twice that. Again, you will see the numbers reflected in the budget. Another thing that we have planned to do is to train 3 individuals in hazardous materials suppression, detection, and protection, specifically in the area of petrochemicals. And then we're going to have them in turn peer train every member of the department. There will be a training expenditure there, but again, when we liaisoned with the company, they were generous enough to give us some assistance with that, not only financially, but also with some information and products and training devices that we can use in our training. Also, I have talked to the chief and training officer and the hazardous materials people over at the Davenport Fire Department, which is our sister fire department, and they're a lot larger than us, and they have a lot more capabilities, and they are willing to sit down and talk with the mayor, city council, and city manager, and of course myself, about a mutual aid agreement should we need them in the event of a incident. I want to stress that our research showed that this type of incident is not only rare, but easily maintained if we do several things. The main thing is that we follow the principles of emergency management, which means we plan for it, which we're already in the stages of doing it. We mitigate, and by mitigating that, we make sure that any potential hazards are minimal. And the company does a lot of that themselves. They have a very good safety record. and we're also going to be doing some inspections, which they've agreed to, and by city charter they have to comply with as well. Also, of course, we're going to respond if we have to, and we obviously are going to be planning for response with the new type of phone, the existing apparatuses, the new training, and our newly trained personnel. Also, if the mutual aid agreement goes into effect, we will have the assistance of the Davenport Fire Department. And then recovery, which is a phase that we hope we never get to. We will be prepared for that by working together as a community, which we always have. Again, I want you to take a look at the numbers and get back to me if there's anything that you can suggest that we change. This is my proposal. Again, it's going to take, as the report says, 15% changes in 3 sections of the budget: training, operations, and equipment. And these are going to be expenditures that can be offset and hopefully will be funded by your wise counsel. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank you all for taking the time for this presentation. And I will be here for any questions. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.